So I'm excited to bring you the Patrick Bet David podcast, just a little analysis on an interaction that took place, really more of a fight where a lot of sparks were up flying. And if this would have been in a bar, it would have come to blows. And I bring you this not only to score some political points, but also hopefully to discuss and get your guys' opinion as to how one could debate better, because I don't think that either people here, they got too caught up in the emotions of the moment to really get any salient points across. Obviously, I agree far more with one of them, and you'll find out who as we go through.
2,977 people died is less of an event than one person dying on J6.
That's not.
When you say that, you've already.
You're manipulating what I said, twisting it. What I said was January 6th was a more severe attack on the United States. September 11th.
Obviously, I'm sure that many of you have questions immediately about this statement, how that could possibly be. Me too. Let's see what he says.
And September 11th had more casualties. There's a difference.
How do you measure worse? There's got to be data. You said you're a data guy. Data says one event, we lost nearly 3,000 people. One event, we lost one.
We lost.
The average person, they're going to say, of course, 3,000 is going to be worse.
Because I guess I'm counting the 600,000 that died in the American Civil War. And I'm counting the 405,000 that died in the Second World War. And I'm counting.
He's talking as though what he's saying is profound, but it makes little sense, if any.
Counting the 50,000 that died in the Korean War. And I'm counting the 58,000 that died in the Vietnam War.
What's your point?
And I'm counting the acts of sacrifice that go back to 1776 that were desecrated on that day, incited by a single man who assaulted the Constitution of the United States. We were attacked by a foreign enemy on September 11th of 2001. The casualties were horrendous, as they were on December 7th of 1941. But the attack on January 6th was more severe also than the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Well, some would call it attack, but from the videos that we saw, Steve, from Twitter and just undercover cameras, it didn't look like an attack. If somebody
what are you talking about?
I'm just talking about all the videos that we've seen, the undercover.
What do you mean all the videos?
All the videos on Twitter.
Well, all the videos on Twitter?
Yeah, hold on.
Are you guys going to really sit here and tell me that the attack on January 6th didn't happen, that the violence,
Hold on, that's a straw man. That is a straw man. That is not exactly what he said. He's straw manning, just so you guys can see it.
Bludgeoning of the police officers didn't happen because of some bullshit on Twitter. Here we go.
Steve, I'll give you my...
Okay, you see, immediately he's swearing, he's inciting this, he's going after Vinny and making him look like an idiot to his co-host. Are you really telling me this blank straw man statement and then turning it into an attack on Vinny?
Steve, I'll give you my opinion and then you could talk. First of all,
it's not an opinion.
Hold on.
It's not an opinion.
See, again, he's saying, let me tell you what I think, and he's interrupting again. And he's pointing and wagging his finger. You notice who's inciting this. I honestly can just tell that this guy drinks way too much. That would be my bet without even knowing anything more. But here we go.
It's a bullshit conspiracy.
I'm not only a New Yorker, I'm a veteran. For you, time out. Yeah. My sister's a veteran. My brother's a veteran. He's a veteran. For you to listen to me, for you to say that January 6th compared to 9/11 that's the dumbest I've ever heard. Hold on, let me finish. Number one. It wasn't an attack. It looked like a guided tour. Okay, that's what it.
You're not.
Are you? Yeah.
You see, again, he's not allowing him to finish. Vinny took the bait a little bit. He got emotional, right? And now he gets to say you're an effing nut. Yeah, fatty. I don't think that you get to call somebody that unless you want somebody to respond in kind. I can say much worse. Here we go.
It ain't right, I am. It was a guided tour.
A guided tour.
You think
a guy beating the cops with all the violence?
Who died? Ashley Babbitt, a veteran, they shot. The Capitol Police shot her ass. What is that guy getting in trouble? You're just upset because Donald Trump said, you know what, they probably cheated. You don't think he has a leg to stand on that they f***ing did it in 2016? Hillary, Russia, FBI, colluded. Are you like? How are we f***ing crazy, Steve? How are we crazy?
I mean, this is going to be on video, so I mean, you're going to speak for yourself.
No, I'm going to speak for myself. 19 terrorists.
This dude is incredibly dismissive of the points that he's making. He's not engaging with the points. He's going ad hominem every single time. I have to point that out. I wish that Vinny wouldn't have taken the bait as he did. I don't think that that is a good argumentative tactic, and I'm guilty of that too sometimes. But regardless, the debate is lost the moment you go ad hominem, as Steve has so many times in a row.
Took 4 commercial flights, crashed them in the World Trade, crashed them in the Pentagon, did all that. Okay, and you're saying that, and we've lost, and you, by the way, for how many decades of wars, we've lost over 1 million people from the Iraq War, which is all bullshit, all a lie. 1 million people.
We lost 1 million Americans in the Iraq War?
No, we lost, we killed people because we said there was weapons of mass destruction. We lied. Bush lied. Oh yeah, there's weapons of mass destruction there. There was no weapons of mass destruction, but we were like, oh, we changed the name since we're here, enduring freedom, which is bullshit. Okay, so as a veteran, as an American, as a New Yorker, for you to say that one day compared to that is absolutely absurd, Steve. I understand that you love this country. I'm not questioning your patriotism, but the hate for one guy because he loves this country so much,
he loves the country.
Bullshit. He does.
Okay, before he goes back on hominem, on Trump, on Vinny, whatever he's going to do, Vinny is coming back and trying to meet Steve somewhere in the middle, saying, hey, we can have a chord here. I'm not demonizing you as you are me. I know that you love this country, but this hate for one man, you see, that is a very good negotiating tactic. You reach out, you say, I know you're not going to like what I'm going to say next. You're pre-framing it. In this case, he's going and saying, I know that you're a decent dude, but you have to listen to this point. And that's a good way to allow your point to sink in. So props on Vinny for doing this. Now, my bet is that Steve Schmidt, whatever Steve his name is going to come back here with an ad hominem of some type probably against Donald Trump, since that's who Vinny was referencing.
You're a fool.
How am I a fool?
It was about Vinny. Sorry, my bad.
You just hate him. You just hate the guy.
You see, again, Vinny's taking the bait. Steve Schmidt is terrible. I mean, he is probably drunk here, I'd imagine, or something. There's something weird going on with him that he would be behaving this way. Or else he just has Trump derangement syndrome. This is a very common symptom of Trump derangement syndrome sufferers, that when everybody brings up the name, they immediately call them a fool. They go ad hominem. They become very insulting, as Steve is when calling him a fool.
You are taken in by a con man.
No, I'm not. I guess
he
what?
loves
I'm
the
not
country. Trump loves the country.
You damn right he does. He's been saying it since the 80s, 90s on Letterman and all these shows.
He's a guy on September 11th who went down, said he was down there. He wasn't. He's a guy who called in on a radio. He said, now I got the tallest building in Lower Manhattan. He's a guy who lied.
That does not mean that you don't love the country. That could be making dark humor, but you want to frame it in such a way that he doesn't love the country. That's why I have a problem with these people, is they're not honest. They're not honest. You take somebody's words out of context and you try to frame them in the manner that you desire other people to see him, and that's exactly what Steve Shit here is doing.
About Muslims cheering it in New Jersey, from Jersey City. He is a con man. He is a liar. And that you have fallen for this bullshit.
I'm not falling for anything, Steve.
Please.
Steve, how about this, Steve? It didn't have
You'll
to.
note that Steve looks over at, it appears that he looked over at the other podcast hosts to see where they were on this. You know, oh, you're going to side with me, right? Just so you guys can see, I hope that you saw what I did.
Trump. What I love is that this dude sacrificed everything to pull back the curtain and tell the regular American.
What did Donald Trump sacrifice?
Time out. Guess
what
what?
did Donald
His
Trump
name,
sacrifice?
his career, he can go to prison. He can go to prison for what you guys want for the rest of his life.
Probably shouldn't have broken the law.
No, Steve, you know what it was? Steve,
Broken
don't
the
give me this.
Probably shouldn't have broken the law. What law did he break? Overvaluing his properties, which the New York AG told us is the art of a steal, valuing it at $25 million according to the assessor. This is the evidence that they're putting forward that he broke the law. What, with the hush money payment, the fact that he didn't report the hush money payment on his public records, or that he should have paid it out of the campaign funds? Of course, they would have gone after him for that too. The whole thing is get Trump for any freaking reason.
Regular bullshit. Huh? He pulled open a curtain and let all of us see. The regular people. Look at what these assholes are doing. Fake news, fake this.
Are you talking about the shower curtain where he had the country's most sensitive secrets?
Oh, you mean no? What about
what the hell is he talking about? Again, this is not proven. They're using this as factual evidence when it's not. The same thing with the Steele dossier, with all the stuff that they hurl at Trump. Now I don't even listen. Now it's the boy who cried wolf. Because that's what they are doing. And they're just getting the public. I had somebody comment to me just the other day that with so much dirt thrown at Trump, some of it must be true, or maybe none of it is because it's all a big psyop, or maybe they take one kernel of truth and continue to pile on top of that all the shit and get everybody to eat it.
Biden doesn't bother you? Right. They all take documents home. They all think, hey, hold on, were we in better shape now than when Trump was in? Are you happy with what's going on? You and your Lincoln Project, but mind you, the biggest hypocrites, you guys were going after him for Russian collusion and tax evading. That's what you guys were doing. All your people, you were the only one that was innocent. The rest of them were perverted. One of them was a Russian agent. One of them owes $390,000 in a tax lien in his house, and the other guy went to court from American Express for not paying his $30,000 tax bill. You guys are the biggest hypocrites. The biggest hypocrites. You guys hate the man. You guys just hate the man.
But they're grifters. They're liars, and that's why you shouldn't trust them. And when you see Steve Schmidt here and the way that he's behaving, I don't trust him for a second.
The policies and what he did for this country, I'm happy. Listen, it didn't have to be him, Steve. It could have been a fucking turtle. He woke us up. He told people, hey, look at this curtain. Look at what these assholes are doing. Fake news, and it's all bullshit. And he sacrificed it all for us. Plain and simple, Steve. Say what you want. Say what you want. You're talking.
You see, and one of the difference here is that Steve is dismissive and Vinny is talking from the heart in terms of what he believes. Now, you could question whether or not he should be as emotional as he's being. But when one sees Vinny, one sees somebody expressing his true beliefs, whereas Steve Schmidt is a dismissive asshole towards him. And so that, for that reason, I think that most people are going to side with Vinny because they see a villainous character on one side and a man who's speaking from his heart, even if he might be a little bit too emotional.
To a veteran that whole family fought for this country, and my parents are immigrants, and I'm a New Yorker. For you to compare those two is fucking asinine. The only girl that died was a veteran. The Capitol Police shot her. You said bludgeoning? Who died on January 6th? Who died? Who died?
Well, we have multiple suicides.
You see, again, he's asking a very specific question, and this is the dodge to suicides that may or may not have had something to do with the events that took place, but to state that it was worse than 9/11 is just such malarkey.
Give me a on January 6th in the Capitol. Who died? I'm passionate. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth, Steve. You're the one. You were cussing and talking shit. You're not going to do that with me. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
You are sitting here lying to millions of people about what happened on January 6th.
I'm lying.
Point out the lie, please. Please point out the lie. What did I say that was a lie? Instead of getting defensive, what was the lie? Name it.
Which was an attack on the country incited by the president. Watch the
Why is he in jail for inciting violence?
He will be soon.
Is that the video?
That's your dream.
Is that the video where he's like, go peaceful? Yeah. He's like, go in there.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Be peaceful.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys hate the person.
You guys don't seem to be a whack job like this guy.
Yeah,
Wow. You see, the other two are just staying quiet, allowing them to duke it out. And he comes over and says, okay, you're going to side with me against Vinny. You don't seem to be whack jobs because you're not passionately disagreeing with me. And so I'm going to frame my opponent as a whack job. This is not the right way to win any argument, any debate, or even be a decent human being. This is not a decent human being. This is the TDS sufferer who is either exhibiting massive amounts of symptoms right now. Maybe he's a decent guy when he goes home, but looking at him, judging him, reading people, I don't think so. That's me. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments.
I'm a whack
But
job.
you know what it is though, Steve. You know what it is. So for me, I want to respect the voter, and I think there are millions, if not tens, who feel like he does. I
don't give a f- how he feels, and this is important. This is important because you can watch the video. You can watch the video. You can watch the actual video of the insurrectionists attacking the Capitol.
Again, how do you accept the frame of insurrectionists? The moment that you don't push back on insurrection, what? Did they insurrect and leave the weapons behind and thinking that they were going to occupy a Capitol building after they had been locked down, silenced, with the incitement of the FBI to go and try to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer as a plot to enhance her chances and Democrat chances in the state by framing the MAGA crowd as violent terrorists? That's the way they want them to see them. It's just utterly, I just can't stand this guy.
That's real. It happened.
They attacked the Capitol.
Okay, can I just weigh in on one thing? You guys are both wrong and you're both right. Let me explain. Both days are horrible days in American history. We're comparing what's worse of a tragedy when they're both horrible tragedies. So who's right, who's wrong? You're right more symbolically. Correct. This is an attack on our democracy, the peaceful transfer of power. Talking about
No, it was a riot is what it was. It was a riot, and people were trying to hold up the transfer of power in order that it be done correctly in their minds. Now, you can feel free to disagree with that, but that was their goal, I believe.
He's saying it didn't happen.
No, what she's wrong.
He's saying it
what
didn't happen.
Wait, I said,
no.
Hear me out. I deny that.
First of all, here's a question for you.
Hear me out.
No, hang on a second. Listen to me. No, hang on a second. You're the judge of this?
Can I
You're the judge of this to say he's wrong or he's wrong?
Did I say it didn't? I said people weren't there. You said attack. I said they were there. They were protesting.
You said it was a.
I didn't say it was attack. No.
You
I
said it was a tour.
No. I said it looked like a guided tour.
It didn't look like a guided tour to me.
What channel were you watching? CNN, MSNBC.
God,
I was watching Undercover Cameras.
You are a five-star whack job, man.
A 5-star whack job, man. Very unlikable. And this is an insecure man that looks over for support from others when he is attacking their friend. This is not a good person.
Where Vinny is right and wrong was...
He's completely wrong.
Where I agree with what people say is, by definition, a lot of people would say that it wasn't literally a insurrection. Was it a riot? Was it a violent protest?
It was an insurrection aimed...
An insurrection, again, at least Adam is not accepting the framing of the insurrection, because the moment that you accept that, then you see people in that light and judge them accordingly. I don't believe that it was an insurrection. I believe that it was a riot. I think that on 5/29, when Antifa attacked the guard towers at the White House, tried to burn them down, tried to burn down St. John's Church and penetrate the White House walls, that could be considered potentially an insurrection. These people were there because they thought that a wrong had been committed electorally. I don't believe that it was an insurrection. What the violent people did, we can condemn 100%. I don't think it's fair to frame it that way.
It's stopping the certification of the election constitutionally prescribed on January 6th. That's the purpose of it.
You can argue over semantics. Is that's what I think?
It's not. No.
What point are you making?
I'm saying
it's not semantics.
I would love to make my point.
Go ahead. Let's see what it is.
Adam's a little bit angry because he keeps getting interrupted. I don't think that his point's really a good one here, but I understand where he's coming from.
And finish my
once. Make your point. Hurry up.
For once. So the point is, both days were piece of shit, fucking horrible days. You know it was not just a guided tour. You know that it was a violent act of complete absurdity. It wasn't a guided tour, but at the same time, I don't think many people think that it was an actual insurrection. It was a horrible day in American history. Horrible day. It was not a tore through the Capitol. It was horrible. But at the same time, you have to understand that millions of Americans are going to see what you said about 9/11 and be shell-shocked by the ramifications of what you're saying. So this is what I'm saying, that you're both right and wrong in your assessment.
I think millions of Americans will understand perfectly what I'm saying.
Yes, all those with Trump derangement syndrome, they definitely will.
Millions of Americans, sadly, are abused by people like you
Oh my
who
God.
have a platform and communicate misinformation like you just did, that this was a guided tour.
Look at him leaning in aggressively, calling him out. Like I said at the very beginning, if this was not in a studio being filmed, this would come to blows, and Steve Schmidt would be on the ground with Vinny rubbing his foot on the grass afterwards.
Or as opposed to a violent attack. You are one of the people, through your conspiracies, who is poisoning the discourse and the ability of people to tell reality.
Yeah.
I want to say for the record.
No. Not reality. You want us to buy your insurrection framing. We must see the world through your lens, through your framing. Anything else is not reality according to you. That's why Hillary Clinton just today or the other day said that Trump MAGA folk must be re-educated. Put them into camps.
You're completely, absolutely, totally full of fucking shit.
Yeah,
When you
I love
say,
you too.
when you say,
I say what?
when you say
Yeah,
that
stop
that
getting
was
so close to me.
anything
Why you getting
other,
closer to me?
when that was
Exactly. You see? I guarantee you this would have come to blows if this is not in studio and Vinny is not holding himself back. God, what do you guys think? Am I wrong here? Please comment whether or not you think that this is at all appropriate. Am I missing something? Am I misjudging? Let me know in the comments.
anything
Go use
other
your
than an
microphone.
insurrection.
Go use your microphone. Guess what? I can say whatever I want because I'm an
So by
American.
the way,
Say
reasonable.
whatever-
Because it's a free fucking country and you have the First Amendment and all these people that are trying to silence anybody who disagrees with them the same way they did with the COVID vaccine, the same way they did with vaccine, the same way they did about it coming from the Wuhan laboratory as a conspiracy theory. Motherfuckers, you got everything wrong during COVID and y'all need to be quiet because y'all are wrong. And even if you get one point in, you have to get a series of points correct before I will start to listen to you again.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Reasonable question for you. What was, and Adam, here's a question for you. You said violent protest. You used those words.
Twice.
I
He said
did.
violent
I
twice.
did. Yeah.
You said J6 is violent.
Yes.
Was BLM protest violent?
So we're going to go to a
No,
separate
no,
topic.
I'm question for you.
Yes, it was violent.
What's more violent, J6 or BLM riots? How many?
Obviously, BLM riots where many people were killed and buildings were torched. Obviously, BLM, like I told you about the 529 riot in front of the White House where Secret Service were injured and nobody went to jail. What about that? Let's give those people justice. The same justice that was given to Enrique Tarrio, who wasn't even at the Capitol and got 22 years. It's a justice system that has been completely two-tiered, unfortunately. It's not blind. It has been weaponized.
How many businesses went out of business, or how many businesses were trashed during
Antifa.
J6?
So now I have to defend BLM.
You do, because you used the word violent.
They were both violent.
No.
Just like 9/11
No, it's not.
was also a horrible day.
That's not how-
Just like January 6th.
No, that's not how it
There's
works.
levels. So
That's not how
only
this
one
works.
can be violent
No,
when the
it's
other one
not.
can't.
It's not. No.
Why
So
can't
January
you
6th was
understand?
peaceful and
have
only
to-
BLM was violent. I got it.
What is the difficulty in understanding that one of them was an attack on a very specific place, on a very specific day?
Yeah, like they attacked the White House and got away with it. Like they penetrated the chambers of the Senate to protest Kavanaugh being put onto the Supreme Court. Like that? I mean, come on, this is what I'm talking about. I want equal justice. If you're violent, then you should be prosecuted. But it doesn't work both ways.
With a very specific function taking place on that day that had everything to do with the peaceful transition of power, which is foundational to how the country functions. That's why.
Now we're talking different issues.
Right? So if there's a riot
Right.
in Cleveland
Uh-huh.
and 500 businesses are burned down,
Yeah.
that is a threat to the economy in Cleveland, but not American democracy.
Yeah, actually, it is a threat to American democracy because this spreads. And when you see the way that the perpetrators of such violent acts are treated so differentially, again, I'm repeating myself, I know, that is a threat to democracy. And that is what leads to the frustration that leads to the riot of people that actually love the country. Those who were burning down the local businesses, do you think they love the country? They were burning American flags. There's a huge difference between the motives of the two people. One is actually trying to destroy the country, while those who were protesting during January 6th, they weren't trying to destroy the country. They were trying to protect, at least in their minds, and this is mind reading a little bit, but I have to believe it to be true, they were trying to protect the country. And I disapprove of the violence, any violence that was used. But there's a huge difference here.
If you assault the Capitol
Yeah.
on the day that the Congress is certifying an election to begin the process that will culminate on the 20th with the transfer, they have nothing to do with each other.
Again, I just pointed out
The
how they kind of do.
Attack
Yeah.
on the 6th was incited by one of the 44 people in the history of the country who's raised his hand and swore the 35-word oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
I would really like to know how Donald Trump incited it. Again, he said, and now go peacefully and patriotically march on the Capitol. Peacefully and patriotically. I don't understand how that is incitement. They are not charging him with incitement of a riot because it ain't there. But this is the way that Steve Schmidt and the Lincoln Project are trying to frame it.
Period. It was the most grotesque betrayal and abdication of presidential responsibility in American history. It constitutionally disqualifies him, in my estimation, from holding office ever again. How could anybody look at what happened? Look at what happened. It was a tour? How dare you?
You didn't see the shaman getting guided around? The guy was supposed to be this crazy wild man. Okay, here's my question. Steve, how do you explain the countless FBI agents in plain uniform that Congress won't even tell us how many?
Because it didn't happen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
It didn't happen.
Should we believe, Steve, after all this, should we believe those who tell us that they don't know whether or not there was FBI agents there? And just after all the lies that they've told us about the Hunter Biden laptop and the suppression of which led to the change in the election, it was a rigged election. By the way, I convinced the Blue Anon member, somebody with severe TDS, that in fact the election was rigged. I should make a separate video about that because of the Hunter Biden laptop. I just focused in on that. But really,
Ray Epps.
The violent insurrection.
Oh yeah. By the way, what do you? Let me see this. Guys, saw it. Go back to that video. Could you show this video? People are fucking rotting in jail for 30 years.
Yeah, 'cause
okay,
they're
for
criminals.
doing this shit.
What
What the hell does that
what's
look
the
like?
criminal?
Okay,
What does
What's
that
the
look like
criminal?
to you?
Trespass?
Look at the
Video,
violence. I don't give a
Vinny,
shit.
just because you're yelling doesn't mean you're right.
No, it doesn't matter.
That's one piece of video.
Yeah, one
Why
piece
don't
of
we
video.
show the hours of footage
Yeah,
of them
Tucker
breaking
Carlson.
down-
Look,
Tucker.
okay.
What do we
Guys,
got here? We
guys,
got Tucker
who got
Carlson
shot?
here.
Who
We
got
got
shot?
a guy. We got
Who got
Tucker
shot?
Carlson. We got a
Who got
guy who's
shot?
got his own show on Russian
Ashley
TV.
Babbitt, God rest her soul.
We
a
got
veteran,
the
12
king
year
of
veteran.
again, he's just going ad hominem. He's trying to take out the source, Tucker Carlson. This is actual video. This is evidence that this man was being given a guided tour. That's literally what it was. They opened up the door to the Senate chambers for him. And they allegedly kept, according to his own lawyer, kept this from his legal team, the video. So, of course, I got a strike from YouTube for saying that earlier as promoting a dangerous conspiracy theory when his lawyer went on Tucker Carlson and said that. So deal with what the lawyer said, YouTube.
Shot. Yeah,
Domestic
Oh my
terrorist.
God, look at this violence. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh my
put
God, they're turning it up.
Let's roll
So-
the tape of the violence, though.
Okay.
Okay, that's like saying there's a war going on over
Adam,
here But you have video of outside of them getting along.
Here's my question.
There's other videos, Vinny.
Hold on, let's go back. So you mean to tell me Donald Trump, 2016, we found this is a fact. This isn't BS. I made this up. 2016, fact. All right, the Durham report. Hillary Clinton, DNC, FBI, they all colluded to say
None of that's true.
None of it's true.
Of course, none of it's true, despite the fact that it's been found that Hillary paid for the Steele dossier, despite the fact that they spied on the Trump campaign, despite the fact that they weaponized the legal system in order to go after General Flynn. Of course, none of it's true. Gee, did they censor the Hunter laptop? Didn't they sit on that in the FBI for more than a year knowing that it was coming? But you expect me to believe? Oh, none of it's true. Every little thing that Vinny brings up is an utter denial by Steve Schmidt.
You're full of right now. Number one, 100% true. She paid for the dossier and did all that. 100%. So wait. So Donald Trump is crazy to think that they would cheat again? Are you kidding me? You mean having the FBI?
There's no evidence of voter fraud of any type whatsoever.
Yeah, but
no, you're full.
That's a separate conversation.
Hold on. By the way, and the hypocrisy for you guys to talk shit, the Lincoln Project was comprised of all the same shit that you guys accused Trump of. That's the fucking funny part. You guys were all full of shit. Your whole crew was tax evading, Russian foreign agent, money scandaling fucking people, and we're supposed to what? Believe you guys were making money. Where's all that money? Where's all the money? And I'm crazy?
Let him answer the
you
question,
didn't vet
Vinny.
none of those people? You didn't vet none of them? No, none of these people. And it's always the ones that point are the biggest pieces of shit. The ones that go, hey, look at Trump, tax guy, Russia guy. It was you guys.
Wasn't me.
It's you. Oh, you're innocent.
That was his organization. He's representing the Lincoln Project. The Lincoln Project did everything that they could to take down Donald Trump. And now he's admitting that everybody that he was in cahoots with was on the take, or a Russian agent, or a pedophile, whatever that they were accused of being. And he's like, it wasn't me. You are so morally bankrupt.
You're 100%.
I pay my taxes.
Okay.
You want to find some fucking guy. You know what you are?
An American patriot.
You're a whack job.
Yeah, I'm a whack job.
You're a whack job.
Let me guess. Yeah. Dismiss conspiracy. No, the truth.
You see, again, ad hominem attack versus salient points. Vinny brings up a lot of salient points, and it's just an ad hominem attack. Vinny could be calmer during this whole thing and really lay Steve out and just rake him over the grills. He has not done that because he is emotional. I understand it. I get the same way just watching this. But the ad hominem attacks are how you lose a debate. Because I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Am I right about this? Leave it in the comments.
It hurts and doesn't care about your feelings. Period. I'm sorry. I'm not delusional
what
about
he's saying about the peaceful tour of the Capitol, which I fully disagree with.
It's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. He's a liar. He's a liar. He's lying into the camera about.
I'm sorry. Did he not just play the evidence? You could say that that was one portion of what was going on. You could say that outside, as Adam said, that there was other violence that was taking place. That is all true, but you have to understand that people are a little bit dubious of the fact that the police are opening up the Senate door for the QAnon shaman to go in. I shouldn't even call him the QAnon shaman. This guy is BlueAnon, except he's not. He's just a disingenuous grifter.
A violent event saying it was peaceful, spouting conspiracy theories and using a Tucker Carlson thing.
I didn't play.
I mean, I don't know what to say other than to say it's why the country. Right? I mean,
it's why Trump is leading in the polls, because there's so many crazy whack jobs like me that are tired of your bullshit. Period. America first. Look where the fuck America is right now. Where are we? Are you happy with what's happening right now in this country? Are you genuinely happy with what's happening in the country? Border wide open, inflation, all the bullshit that's happening, all the violence, all the smash and grab, all the shit. You're happy?
I think three things. I genuinely think you're a whack job.
What an asshole.
Thank you so much.
I think you're ignorant.
Okay, thank you.
You're not answering the question. You're just going ad hominem again.
And I think you have nothing to say because you know that I'm right. And guess what? I hope to God Trump's win again. Trump wins again, so at night he just lives in your head.
So he can kill me?
No,
kill the chairman of the Joint Chiefs?
Because I want you to wake up
Shut
every
down
morning and
NBC?
go, I want you to wake up every morning and go, oh. I want you to cry like all the people that cried, but he made America dope. It's people like you that are dividing us. All right? I don't give a shit about personality. I want policy. I want to live in a safe country. All right? I want the border to be secure. I want the economy to be killing. All right? I don't want people like you.
I don't know.
Like,
You seem
he's a boogeyman.
You seem a little rattled to me.
Not at all, bro. I'm on point all day.
Nice vein in your head.
Yeah, the vein is called passion.
Again, the surest way to lose an argument is to go ad hominem more than one time. The moment you do it a second time, you just lay yourself out as not having any salient points, and that's how you try to win. I personally think that this guy's a drunk. I think he's disingenuous. I do believe that he and his fellow team at the Lincoln Project were grifters. There were so many scandals that came of that crew, but that's the side of the point. You guys decide how best to play it out. I, as I said, believe that Vinny should have calmed down a little bit, allowed Steve to hang himself, made him answer the questions at the very end when Steve went ad hominem. Answer, are you happy with wide open borders? Did Trump do better? That would have been the correct way to appeal to the masses that were out there and fillet that fat ass. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I thought it was entertaining. I got a little bit emotional listening to it because it was frankly hard to, because I just despise people like Steve Schmidt. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.